Hello and welcome to The Beekeeper, your entry point to the world of bee movies. I'm the beekeeper, I guess, and I promise you now that the title of this series is the only bad pun you'll hear on the show. Believe me. Sorry. But what are bee movies and why should we care about them? Well, it's sort of a complicated thing to define, but, and I must stress this, the B doesn't stand for bad. If it did, then I wouldn't want to talk about them. You wouldn't want to hear me talk about them. You probably don't anyway. Of course, there's no denying that there have been B-movie abominations. One, for example, would probably be Black Foul Creature. We'll come back to that one someday when hell freezes over, pigs fly, and I join a football team. Anyway, the term B-movie first entered the vernacular during what is often referred to as the golden age of Hollywood. Cast your minds back to a time at the movies when, for your money, you would see not one movie, but a double feature, a short subject, a newsreel, perhaps even a cartoon, and still have change left over for popcorn. Moviegoing was an event, the done thing, a weekly activity, and this meant that there was a huge demand for images that could be thrown up there on the silver screen. During this time, the big Hollywood studios developed a system called block booking. What block booking meant was that if cinema owners wanted to show a studio's high-budget, prestigious films, they would also have to buy a number of smaller features and short subjects from the same studio as part of a package deal. Theatre owners had to take these films sight unseen, with the promise of star vehicles mixed amongst a grab bag of lesser titles. Imagine wanting to buy a DVD only to be told, "Oh, so you'd like to buy a James Cameron film? Well, you can't do that until you buy whatever's in this bag here." What's that? You'd like to know what's in the bag? No. We'll just send you some DVDs when we're good and ready. You'll know the kind of films that were considered to be the prestigious A movies. They're the kind that had masses of attention lavished upon them during their production, upon their release, and for years to come. They're the ones that end up in top 100 lists and have scores of books written about them in hundreds of languages. The smaller films that came as part of block booking were produced by what were called B units. Now, these units often had less time or money to work with, but all things considering, they often pulled some fantastic stuff out the bag. Then there were studios that specialised in producing nothing but B movies. Studios like Monogram, Mascot, and later on Republic all specialised in turning out cheap films quickly that could be played in smaller cinemas. As I said before, a B-movie is a hard thing to define, partly because of the way the film industry is constantly changing. With the crumbling of the studio system in the 1950s, it's arguable that the B-movie evolved into drive-in, exploitation, and grindhouse movies. Today, made-for-television or direct-to-video films might be critically looked down upon, all the more reason for us to pay them some attention. Basically, this is a show that roots for the underdog. For the purposes of this series, my definition of B-movies is quite broad. They're films that didn't necessarily have access to great amounts of funding and that perhaps passed under the critical radar at the time of their release. Some are genuinely a bit cack, but many were well written, inventively shot, and simply fun to watch. The idea is that hopefully you'll agree. Well, that wraps things up for this first instalment of The Beekeeper. Maybe next time I might actually look at a film instead of waffling on for 10 minutes. So I'll see you then, when hopefully I'll have come up with a better closing line than "be seeing you." See what I did there with the "be seeing you" and the beekeeper and the...